Hey, happy Tuesday, everyone. And we all know what that means. It's the weekly mutation rotation. We're going to go ahead and jump straight into what this week's mutations are. So if we just pull up the menu and we go over to the activities, we have the Dynasty Shipyard, the Garden of Genesis, and the Savage Divide. On M1, we have Icebound, which is going to be frozen. So you get Rim 1, heavy and special enemy attacks, cause a slow on hit. Glacial, enemies drop a destructible ice crystal upon death that slows and roots players. And then Frozen, enemies deal 50% of all damage as ice damage. And Shiver 1, while in combat, enemies inflict biting cold, dealing damage to players who are not near them. Items have a chance to drop with these perks: Frost Attunement and Frost Conditioning. And then on M2s, we have Barbaric. Enemies may have the following buffs: Enraged. When hit, enemies generate fury at 20 fury. They become enraged, dealing 50% increased damage, becoming 15% larger. So you'll see them kind of just not like kind of a little bit. Shattering 2. Enemies forego the 25% reduced stamina damage in expeditions. Enemies deal 40 to 75% increased stamina damage. Additionally, upon breaking your block, enemies apply a bleed, dealing 5 to 8% base health damage per tick. And then finally on M3s, which again, nobody really be running at all. Let me know if y'all run it, because like I would be super interested to see how many people actually run M3s. Blowback Ice, using abilities depletes a global affliction. When the affliction is depleted, a zone is cast on all players, which silences players in its area. After the affliction expires, these zones detonate, dealing 65% max health ice damage to players in the radius. This effect cannot be cleared by player abilities. Whatever. While silenced, zones are active. All players, while silent zones are active, all players lose natural mana regeneration. Standing in silent zones grants 25 mana per 0.75 seconds. This effect cannot be cleansed by player abilities. And that is this week's mutation. So with the main thing being frozen, we're going to want to run over to the trading post and see if we have any amulets that have frozen protection. So let's see what we come up with. Let me see. Let's just go right here. Add perk. Frozen protection. All right, so let's go look for. Obviously, we're not going to pay 9,000. But if this is any good, intelligence, dexterity, and constitution, that one's not too bad. Got health. Oh yeah, we actually got some options here that are pretty good. So yeah, if you're over on Pangea, I would definitely check out some of these amulets here. Got stop, drop, and roll, dodging, reduce the current duration of all burn damage. Frozen. Oh, we got harvesting stuff there. 625. That's a little bit low, but definitely some of these top ones right here are pretty good. So yeah, there you have it. We got our frost protection amulets. Oh, also we need to look and see which. Go to resources, refined, cut gemstones, and we're gonna need, is it, whoa, I don't want to buy it yet. Frozen. So we're gonna want pristine aquamarine. We're gonna want to at least have put 3 on our jewelry and then 1 on some of your armor. That way we can get up to at least 40% frost reduction rate on the damage, since that's this week's mutation. So we're going to want to make sure to put, again, 3 in your armor and put 1 or 2 in each of your armor. So if you are 1 or 2 in 2 of your armors. So with that, let's look at what we get from each mutation. So starting off with the Dynasty Shipyard, which is returning, we got the Butcher, which I didn't get last time it was in rotation. So we're going to definitely check it out this time, because I've been getting killed by the Butcher quite a bit in PvP. And as you know, if y'all been paying attention to the streams, I've been doing a little bit of PvP and I want to get a little bit better at it. That way I can bring some better content. But the Butcher gives Magnify. But remember, in Season 10, this is just going to give you more attributes. It's not going to actually magnify or give you any extra stats. It's just going to be based on what you put in your attributes over here in your character tab. Hemorrhage. Bleeds last 25% longer. Works on both weapons. I might actually equip that. Go sword and shield and great sword. Jagged Whirls. Whirling blade inflicts bleed, dealing 10% weapon damage for 6 seconds. Empowering Whirl Blade. If 2 or more enemies are within its radius while performing a Whirl Blade attack, gain 24% base damage for each nearby target. And then Keenly Jagged inflicts bleed on critical hit, dealing 10% weapon damage for 6 seconds. And then you can, of course, add your own random perk. And then moving over to Garden of Genesis is going to give you, again, Freya's Francisca. It's a hatchet. I'm not so sure how good this one is, but definitely probably going to be going for it. Gives Magnified. Thrown Mastery. Thrown axe projectiles reduce all axe skill cooldowns by 25%, which I don't know if the axe is actually any good as far as being thrown. Empty Socket, and then Empowering Rendering Throw. Ranged hatchet deals 40% damage against rending throw targets. Refreshing move. Light and heavy attacks reduce your active cooldowns. So I mean, it sounds like it's okay. I just don't know how awesome sauce it would be. And so moving on to the Savage Divide, we get Endless Thirst. It was actually a really interesting earring. If it wasn't for my blood drinker, I would probably think about using this. The Thirst healing consumables are 33% stronger, but survival and mana potion cooldowns are 25% longer. I don't really use survival or mana potions, so I don't necessarily think I would be using that part. I'm not worried about that part of it, but the healing consumables being stronger is super dope. And then Empowering Toast and Fortifying Toast is the 2 perks that are really interesting. Having those duo together is super dope. And then being able to add whatever perk you want onto it is super good. So I might actually play around with this eventually and maybe swap it out. Maybe put like Divine on here or something, you know. Necessarily won't be able to use our blood drinker anymore, which is a key factor in the type of build that I like. So we'll have to play around with it, but that seems like it's a super good earring. Okay, and with that out of the way, we're going to cover what else resets. So, as you all know, we can also get your golden coconut, which I will show y'all. I know a lot of y'all were asking in the last video, what is a golden coconut? And I'm going to show y'all what a golden coconut can do. I'm not necessarily going to use one right now, but we will be showing you what you can use it for and how to utilize it the best way possible. So you're going to come over here to the gypsum kiln, and let's just say I want to upgrade my Gen head wrap. So if I want to upgrade it to 725, I need to have my GoldenCursed Coconut to be able to upgrade to 725. And then of course you'll be able to pick whatever perk you want to put on it, but you basically go from 700, and it's only for artifacts. You don't use or weapons that can be upgraded to 725, not necessarily just artifacts. But like if I'm going to go from 700 right now, I can just change a perk or whatever and it'll waste. But that, like, you don't want to do that. If you're going to spend this material right here, you're going to want to go ahead and spend, because it's the exact same amount minus the dark matter being 600. It's an extra 100 dark matter, which that's next to nothing. But you're going to want to go ahead and spend the rest of your material plus your GoldenCursed Coconut to upgrade this to 725. And so you get your GoldenCursed Coconut from coming down here to the free-for-all zone and Cutlass Keys. And as y'all have seen the last 2 times that I've gotten my GoldenCursed Coconut, I come in right here and I just follow along this, and then I come right here and I run along this beach right here. Just run along this beach up here, and then you come right here. There's a couple chests all along here. You come up here, you come up this little, you come up this, loop around, or no, we come up right here. And then over here is a cave, and it just kind of goes into the under parts of this ruins right here of the Citadel, and there's plenty of chests. There's, I think, like 7 or 8, and you're guaranteed to get it within the first 5. And so if you go through more than 5 chests, then you're probably doing something wrong, or you're looking at the wrong chest or something. But that's where you get your GoldenCursed Coconut. Also, if anybody knows what these invasions are, like not the war or anything like that, but the actual invasion, it's a PvE event, and I'm super interested in seeing what that is. Let me know, because like I said, I'm super interested in checking that out. I would also like to go ahead and answer Mr. Body Bags. He's been a really big supporter of this series, so I appreciate it, dude. So would be cool if you had a segment for each one of the things to watch out for during boss fight with actual video showing. I'm gonna have to do that as a separate video, because I don't know if y'all know this, I get up between 3 and 3:30 in the morning to record this before I have to be at work at 5:30. So being able to do that each and every week would be like, I'd have to get up at 2:30 to be able to do that. Another thing to add would be likely was the fastest to run M2 on out of the 3. Okay, so the fastest one to farm. Okay, got you. That I could actually add. I'll probably add that in, and that way you can farm your dense materia, right? That's another thing that I could add in. So I would definitely be adding that. So I appreciate your Mr. Body Bags for the input on that one. And with that, everyone, I believe that covers everything in this week's video. So if you learned anything, if you really enjoy this series, please hit the like button, subscribe with the notification bell on, and we shall see you Wednesday around 5:30 for the next live stream. And we'll see y'all then. Thank you.